My grandfather died twice. The first time the doctors brought him back, flatlined for 4 minutes on a hospital table in a small town nobody has heard of. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he said was not about the light people always describe. He looked at my grandmother and said, "I was so close to becoming something else." He lived another 11 years after that, and in those 11 years he was a completely different man. Softer, more present, like something in him had been rearranged at a level doctors could not measure or explain. I was 12 years old when he told me that story, and I kept asking myself one question: why does it take dying to become who you were supposed to be? That question followed me for 20 years, and the answer I finally found is sitting inside the most misread story in human history. Think about the last time you started over. Maybe it was after a breakup. Maybe it was after losing a job. Maybe it was just a random Tuesday when you looked in the mirror and did not recognize the person looking back. You did not plan for it. Life just forced it on you. And somehow, on the other side of that pain, you were different, not just healed. Actually different. You called it moving on. You called it growth. It was a resurrection, and you ran the code without even knowing it existed. Now here's the part that should make you stop whatever you are doing. Every single civilization that has ever existed on this earth told the same story. Not a similar story. The same story. Egypt, 4,000 years before Christ. Osiris is murdered by his own brother, his body scattered in pieces across the earth, then reassembled, then descended into the underworld. Then he rises and comes back carrying a gift for all of humanity. Mesopotamia, 2,000 years before Christ. Tammuz descends into total darkness. The earth above goes completely barren. Nothing grows, nothing moves. Then he rises, and life returns. Ancient Greece. Persephone is dragged into the underworld. While she is gone, winter holds the entire earth hostage. She ascends in spring. The world breathes again. Norse mythology. Odin, the most powerful being in existence, voluntarily hangs himself on the world tree for 9 days. No food, no water, complete darkness. He surrenders everything he is, and when he comes back, he carries the runes, the secret code of reality itself, as a gift to every human being who would ever live. The Aztec Empire on a completely separate continent. Quetzalcoatl dies, descends, returns as the morning star. These civilizations never met, never shared a language, never crossed the same ocean, and yet they all arrived at the exact same 6 phases: divine origin, violent death, descent into darkness, a specific number of days underground, resurrection, and a gift returned to humanity. The standard explanation is coincidence, cultural borrowing, mythology doing what mythology does. But coincidence does not survive this level of precision across this kind of distance, and cultural borrowing requires contact that the archaeological record simply does not support. So ask the real question: what if they were not inventing stories? What if they were all documenting the same thing? What if the dying and rising God is not a character in a myth, but an instruction manual for something that happens inside the human body? You know that feeling you get every spring? Not excitement, exactly. Something quieter. Like a door somewhere inside you is creaking open and you do not know what is on the other side. You feel restless for no reason. You want to clean everything out, start fresh, quit the thing you have been tolerating for 2 years. Most people ignore it and reach for their coffee. That feeling is not restlessness. That is your biology recognizing a signal. In 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea standardized Easter, and the detail nobody ever talks about is how they chose the date. They did not pick a birthday. They did not pick a calendar number. They anchored it to the spring equinox, the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. And every resurrection festival before Christianity was already using that same anchor. Osiris, Persephone, Attis, Mithras, all of them. Spring equinox. Why? In the exact center of your brain sits a small gland called the pineal gland. It is the only organ in your brain that operates completely outside the blood-brain barrier. René Descartes called it the seat of the soul. The ancient Egyptians and Greeks called it the third eye. They built entire initiation systems around activating it. Modern endocrinology tells us what they already knew. The pineal gland is the most light-sensitive organ in the human body. Its entire job is to read the light in your environment and translate it into hormonal instructions that run your neurological state. Serotonin when the light is growing, melatonin when the light is fading. At the spring equinox, when daylight begins accelerating, your pineal gland receives the strongest biological reset signal of the entire year. Your brain becomes more open, more plastic, more capable of building new patterns than at any other point in the calendar. And here is the part that should genuinely bother you. Since the day you were born, this organ has been under attack. Fluoride calcifies it. Artificial light at night collapses the serotonin cycle it runs on. Blue light from screens operates at the precise frequency that shuts it down completely. 5,000 years of human civilization marked this equinox window as the annual moment for death and rebirth. They were not being spiritual. They were being precise. They kept the ritual. They buried the instruction manual, and they gave you chocolate eggs instead. Here is where this becomes about your actual life. You have tried to change before. You know what it feels like. You set the intention, you feel the momentum for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then something happens. A conversation goes wrong. An old feeling comes back. You find yourself back in the exact pattern you swore you were done with, and you blame your willpower. You blame your discipline. You tell yourself you are just not the kind of person who follows through. That is not what is happening. Neuroscience has confirmed that 95% of who you are by age 35 is a memorized set of automatic behaviors, emotional reactions, and unconscious beliefs running underneath your daily life. Your cells have physically built receptor sites shaped to receive the exact chemical cocktail your habitual emotional states produce. Your body is not just comfortable with your current identity, it is addicted to it at a cellular level. This is why change feels like withdrawal. Because it is withdrawal. When you try to become someone different, your cells do not sit quietly and wait. They signal. They create urgency. They engineer situations specifically designed to reproduce the chemicals they are craving. The 3 a.m. spiral that comes from nowhere. The pullback toward the relationship you knew was destroying you. The self-doubt that arrives exactly when you were finally making real progress. The tomb in the resurrection story is not a grave. The tomb is a chemical habit your nervous system guards like a life support system. But here is what the mystery schools encoded into every version of this story that the modern world quietly removed when it turned the resurrection into a holiday. Yale researchers demonstrated in 2019 that brain cells retain a capacity for restoration even hours after clinical death, fundamentally changing what science thought it knew about the point of no return in human biology. What fires together wires together, and what stops firing together begins to dissolve. The old identity is not a life sentence. It is a groove worn deep through repetition, and grooves can be replaced. The resurrection story is not theology. It is a neurological sequence encoded in a story durable enough to survive 5,000 years until the right person was ready to read it correctly. Now I am going to give you the sequence, not tips, not habits, not a morning routine you will abandon by Thursday. A sequence. You run it in order. You do not skip phases. Phase 1, the descent, 3 days. Think about the last time you wrote in a journal and just vented your feelings onto the page. That is not what this is. Starting at the equinox every morning for 3 consecutive days, you write down every belief about yourself that is currently operating underneath your life. Not the beliefs you aspire to, the ones actually running the show right now, the ones you would be embarrassed to say out loud. Write them as flat, emotionless statements. I believe I am not someone who finishes things. I believe people always leave eventually. I believe I have to earn the right to take up space. You are not fighting these. You are not writing affirmations against them. You are naming them. Because a belief that runs unnamed inside you is invisible. It shapes every choice you make, and you experience it as reality rather than as a belief. The moment you write it on paper outside of yourself, you have interrupted the loop. You can now see it as a thing that exists separately from you. That is the first crack in the stone. Phase 2, the rewire window. 21 days. Every morning for 21 days, before you touch your phone, before you check anything, you spend 10 minutes in the felt experience of the person you are becoming. Not visualizing, not picturing a movie in your head. Feeling. There is a massive difference, and it is everything. Your body cannot tell the difference between a vividly felt internal state and a real external event. Your nervous system rewires through felt experience, not imagined pictures. Every morning you are laying down new neural architecture before the old world has a chance to remind you of the old you. Phase 3. The declaration. Day 21. On the final morning, you write one sentence in the past tense describing who you have become. Then you say it out loud. Every resurrection story ends with this. Osiris declared his new authority. Odin distributed the runes to humanity. The risen figure always speaks the new identity into existence. Research on language and identity confirms that a declared self-concept activates consistency mechanisms in the nervous system that make abandoning it feel like a violation of self. Your voice vibrating in your own chest is the oldest activation technology on this planet. Use it. I have to warn you about something before you close this video and go back to your day. When you begin this sequence, your life is going to feel like it is breaking apart. Relationships built around the old version of you will become unstable. People who needed you small and predictable will pull back or push hard. The discomfort is going to be loud enough to convince you that you made a mistake starting this. You did not make a mistake. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar does not gently and gradually transform. It fully liquefies. It dissolves into formless matter before reorganizing into something completely new. There is a period inside every real transformation where you are not who you were and not yet who you are becoming. Most people hit that window of formlessness and walk back out of the tomb on day 2, convinced the resurrection failed. It did not fail. They left too early. The chaos is not a warning sign. The chaos is the evidence it is working. Drop a comment below with the one word that describes the version of you that you are leaving behind in the tomb. And if you want to keep going deeper into what your biology is actually built for, subscribe to our channel.